Hey guys, Magnus Rabbit here, bringing you another video. This one we're going to be talking about, again, this is top 5 characters who have to, or top 5 playable characters who shouldn't have tasks. I'll call it something like that, or top 10 characters who shouldn't have tasks. But basically, these are characters that I don't think should, or deserve, their own set of tasks, and they should be NPCs. I'm not saying they shouldn't be in the game. No, they should be in the game. I just think that they should be NPCs. Before I get started, though, I kind of want to mention, I feel like I really want to redo the video I did on the top 10 characters, or top 5 characters who do tasks, who need tasks, sorry. I agree with the first 4 that I put. So I agree with Snowball 2. I agree with Capital City Goofball, the Leprechaun, and I kind of agree with I agree with Handsome Pete as well. I think Handsome Pete should. I should have added one though instead of Nessie. I feel like Nessie really shouldn't have tasks. I feel like it'd be better if King Snorky. Now, King Snorky is a non-playable character, but he's a Halloween character, but he played a massive part in that episode. I really feel like he should have tasks, actually, instead. So I just wanted to quickly mention that. I'm not going to come up with any tasks. I just wanted to mention that before I start the video. For anyone who watched that video, I feel like King Snorky should have been number 5, actually. And maybe actually higher than that. Maybe he should... Actually, no. King Snorky would have been number 3. I really just completely forgot about King Snorky when I was doing that. Anyway... Anyway, let's get into this list. So number 5, the characters I don't think should have tasks. So number 5 is actually King Winter. So King Winter came into I want to say 2014. I don't know too sure. Might have been 2015 actually. But basically, he was a Christmas character we got. And of course, he's this Ice King who, well, he lives in a big ice, like an ice cave, doesn't he? He came with the ice cave. And honestly, I watched the episode he's in and how he fits in. And really, he's there for like a few seconds. He's not there for very long. We don't really know too much about him. I'm not really bothered about them giving tasks to a character who's there for and he played a role in the I guess the story obviously the fictional story within the fictional world. He did play a role. I don't think it was a very substantial role, and I mean he didn't really need tasks. They could have just had him as a non-playable. It's not like he's a human. So they have a thing where they seem to give all the human characters tasks, but there are a few human characters they just don't have to give tasks to. They could just have walk around and do something, like the Sprockler Brood. But again, King Winter, I don't think his tasks are very interesting at all. I think they're pretty boring. So honestly, I'm not really bothered. I kind of feel like he doesn't really deserve tasks whatsoever, and his tasks are just overall, boring. And I feel like he would have been okay as a non-playable character, just like Candy Kevin is a non-playable character, and the Dancing Reindeer. All these kind of Christmas holiday themed characters who just sit there and they do a little jig when you tap them. I like that. Anyway, number 4, I've put the Space Mutant. Now, I've been quite critical of the Space Mutant for a while. I've been bullying this guy for a bit. Of course, he came with the Drive-In Theatre, which really annoyed me, because I feel like there were so many other good characters that could have came with the Drive-In Theatre. One of which being not Lionel Hutz, Troy McClure. Of course, I'm not too sure if they're going to give us the Phil Hartman characters. It looks like the fact that they actually withdrew Lyle Lanley, they're never going to give us the Phil Hartman characters. It would be nice to get them in the end, though, but... Whatever, but the Space Mutant overall, he's not. How do I say this? Well, he's a fictional character within the fictional world. They sort of played it off like he's some sort of mascot. I think I'm not too sure if they were playing him off as a mascot because he got eyes in the mouth, but I'm not too sure if that's a person who's been eaten by the Space Mutant or if that's actually like the person who's playing the Space Mutant. I really can't tell. Sorry, that's just a question I've always wondered. Is that someone he's eaten, or is that like a person who's playing him? But the Space Mutant overall is essentially this movie character. He's a character in a series of horror movies, who obviously goes and eats young teenage couples. He's like the stereotypical monster who disrupts young lovemaking. But that's what he is. And we haven't really had any like in-depth thing for him. We've just seen him in the background a lot of the times. He's like a really and this kind of comes down to like I guess you could say even like all the superhero characters we got, like Chocolat Bequet, sorry, and characters like the Scoutmaster and Winlad and Solar Boy Winlad or whatever. Yeah, those guys as well. Maybe it's like all them as well. Like they're all just overall, then they're there for a bit, right? They're there for a gag. They're fictional, for Christ's sake. They're not like real people in Springfield. They're fictional characters. But the Spaceman, for some weird reason, just annoys me even more. Mainly because, I mean, the noise, the whole, and I just don't like it. I really don't like it. I don't like how he came with the driving fear. They tried to play him off as like this big character, when really, we've only seen him a few times as just, in like when the characters are watching a movie. So yeah, it's my beef with that. And then talking about mutants, number 3 is the Mutant Rabbit. So I'm not a massive fan of the Mutant Rabbit either. I think the Mutant Rabbit, when I did my top 10 worst non-playable characters, I completely forgot about the Mutant Rabbit and the Barbarian. It's because I'm looking through and I just completely forget that they even have tasks. The Barbarian's a bit different. I feel like he does need tasks, mainly because he was the only character we actually got. So I feel, well, I don't know if that's strictly true, but he was like he was the guy who sort of led the event. I feel like he definitely needed tasks because of that event. But the Mutant Rabbit, I feel like, just doesn't need tasks as well. It's one of those ones which really just doesn't, like, there's no point of it having tasks because, well, it's crap. It really is. It's just pretty cruddy. It just kind of, you can make it mutate and stuff. But the thing is, in the actual Futurama episode, it was like these goblin-y things. It wasn't the Mutant Rabbit. So I'm not even too sure where they got that from. Whatever. But you can. I guess the one cool task with it is you can make it multiply. I think originally it only had 2 tasks, and then they added some. I'm not too sure if that's true. I feel like it didn't have a full set of tasks at the first though. I don't know. I might be pulling that on my behind. But yeah, the Mutant Rabbit, I just think overall it's boring. I don't really care about it, and overall I just don't like it. So I mean, that's just my only beef. And plus, it kind of put a poor taste in my mouth with the Futurama thing. Although I think it's probably one of the better episode times we actually got the Futurama one, because we got Matt Groening, or whatever his name is, Groening, yeah. We got him with it, so I thought that was kind of cool. But at the same time, and we actually got 2 playable characters. But at the same time, the Mutant Rabbit's a pretty cruddy one. It's like Valentine's Day 2016. It gave us Mona Simpson. Mona Simpson. But it also gave us Becky, who's a crappy character. So what do you kind of analyze it? Do you analyze it for the really good thing, or do you analyze it for the really crappy thing? Anyway, moving on. Number two is the Tourists. So they're probably the most recent character. Well, yeah, they are the most recent character we've got. Of course, there's 3 of these guys. You have 3 tourists. They walk around your town. First of all, they're not even counted in the character collection. You can't find them in the character collection. They're like the street cleaner. The street cleaner is also technically an NPC. It is actually an NPC. If you store it, it's counted in characters. So this is an NPC as well, the street cleaner and the tourists. They're both NPCs, but for some weird reason they're not in the character collection. I really think they need to revise the character collection, and I've talked about this before. I might talk about it again. They need it completely, and I'm going to come up with my solution for Tap Tap. Don't you worry. I'll come up with my big solution for it. They need to completely just change it. They need to have a separate one for costumes and a separate one for characters, and they just need to sort it out. All right. So yeah, that's the tourists. Of course, you click them and they can change their outfits. Like, you can make them Japanese, or you can make them Brazilian, or you can make them French, or you can just, and there's a few more. There's like a bland 60-minute task and a bland 24-hour task where there's no animations. I don't think that this was the right thing to do. I think what they should have done instead, first of all, they were released too late. They were released in the ROM update, which was like a few weeks after the Destination Springfield ended. They should have it sort of ruined it in a way. They should have done the takedown event, added all 3 of these characters. They also should have added the Oscar Flu as a character. I really do believe they should have done that. Added the Oscar Flu as a character, just as like the ball, the pure flu that's running around, because that whole Oscar Flu thing just felt pointless. Like, I thought that was what we were gonna get as like a community prize, but no, we just didn't get anything. So that whole Oscar Flu thing was just pointless for me. Yeah, but I think that they should have given us the tourists, and then when we had them, we could tap them, and when we tapped them, they changed from the default, and then we tap them, they changed to, after you tap them, they changed to France, Brazilian, Japanese, and then back to default. That's what it should have been. That would have been fine. And then they didn't have to do any of this crappy, make them do a task to see their Japanese thing, which I thought was silly. But however, let's get to the number 1 spot. So come in with that drum roll. Number 1 is The Vicious Monkeys. So I've talked. Obviously, it was kind of obvious I was going to put The Vicious Monkeys as number 1. And there is a reason. I don't like them. I just feel like it was they had the Brazilian update. They had two pretty solid characters. They had Ronaldo and they had Thiago. They're two pretty solid characters for the Brazilian act. And then they just decided to go, we need another character, let's throw in some monkeys. And they were the monkeys, they were in the episode, right? And they played a funny little role in the episode. They didn't need tasks. And this is what I mean. This is what kind of annoys me, because I feel like this is what TapTap's going to turn into. It's going to turn into, and I feel like the Vicious Monkeys was the real start of this, where they're taking tiny background characters who we don't care about, who no one knows, no one could ever pick them out and say what episode they're from, no one even knows if they have a name, and they don't even have a name, they're just called the Vicious Monkeys. That's just, an adjective, and then describing what they are. No one knows who these guys are, they're just little things, and they're giving them tasks, they're giving them a storyline, and I think it's pointless. I think that, I don't mind it when they give it to people, and they kind of, but when they give it to a bunch of monkeys, it kind of annoys me. Now, there's a few characters like this, really. There's a few that I just feel are just small and no one cares about. Like, if they were to give tasks to Stuart the Duck, or if they were going to give tasks to the Funzos, or give tasks to... I'm just trying to think, what else could they give tasks to? Well, the Imaginary Bear, something like that. Or like something like that. They gave tasks to an animal which we've seen a few times, or we've only actually seen once, and it just seems silly. It seems silly to give animals tasks, and it was like the quest line was so awful. Go back and read on the wiki and read their quest line. It's just awful. Whatever. I just don't like them. I just have a massive. I just hate them so much. The reason I put Notorious as number 2, by the way, is I just feel like it'd be better if you can just click them and they just change. But I do want all these characters in the game. I'm not saying I don't want these characters in the game. I think it's cool that they're in the game. I just think they don't really deserve tasks. So whatever, guys. This video is longer than I thought it would be, because obviously I was explaining my rationale. But whatever. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next video. And I will be doing a video where I'm going to sort out, I'm going to do it for EA on my own behalf. I'm going to sort out this awful character collection thing. They need to sort out, and I'm going to sort it out for them. Bye bye.